Henry, just after seeing the growth a little bit more of Chang and Moody at the inside linebacker position, what impresses you about just his fire, his stick-to-itiveness, and playing with him even more this year?
Yeah, I mean, he's so eager to learn. He's really eager, and he has a lot of experience. So being able to have a guy like him next to me, him and the whole entire linebacker group, we do a great job together of learning off of each other, feeding off each other, and taking the coach's coaching. So I think that's one great job that he's been doing.
Go to Michael. When you come in as a transfer, what's the hardest part about integrating yourself into the locker room, into your positional group for people who've been competing at that position before you got here?
Yeah, I mean, I don't consider myself a transfer anymore. About to get a degree from the University of Alabama, so I'm super excited about that, being a part of this family. But, the bond that we have as a team, the character that we're all building as a defense, as an offense, and as a whole entire team, it's something that you have to create to be a good team. It's something that you have to be able to, perform how you want to perform on the field. So that relationship part is huge.
Coach Saban's talked this week about last season being a rebuilding year and how the standard here is different than everywhere else. How, as a player, do you kind of deal with those pressure and expectations of the standard here? And then were you kind of aware of that standard when you chose to come here and something you embrace?
Yeah, I mean, rebuilding looks different everywhere. We're definitely looking forward to this next year. But, there's an Alabama standard that you have to live up to, and that's competing every single day, giving championship effort every single day, and just coming in here and working your tails off. And that's kind of one thing that we took from last year and, focused on this year. Super excited about this year. Got a lot of players that, will play a key part, and I think, we're just going to keep rolling.
Go to Charlie.
You said you don't consider yourself a transfer anymore. Just how different, or I guess more comfortable, do you feel right now than maybe this time last year?
Yeah, schematically, feel great. The bond that I have with the players, it's beyond the charts that I could ever explain. Love every single player on this team to death, would do anything for anybody. And that's something that, when you come here, you create through the things that you do every single day, through the practices, the hard work, and, fall camp, being able to be here every single day. There's nothing I wouldn't do for these players.
Go to Nick.
I don't know how much you've gone against Jamal Gibbs in coverage or had to cover him, but I mean, what are the challenges there when he's coming out of the backfield?
Yeah, Jameer's been doing great. So fast, so elusive, gets in and out of his cuts so quick. I've never guarded a back like him before. So being able to see that for me has been so helpful for me, learning things how I can work on my game. But Jameer's been great. Our whole entire running back room's been great. We're really deep in that room. So being able to have guys like that, back-to-back punches, is going to be huge for us.
Yeah, kind of going back to Katie's question. When you first got to Alabama, was there a culture shock at all about the different standard, about some of the fourth quarter stuff, any of that kind of?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, nobody works as hard as we do, and that's something that you have to embrace. That's something that Coach Saban has built here, that we're going to work every single day. We're going to outwork our opponent, no matter if it's watching film, through the fourth quarter program or spring ball or fall camp. So that's something that I had to adjust to. But it's a culture of mine now. And, it's my responsibility to teach the younger guys so that they can keep that legacy going.
Front row here. What's your name again?
Hey. As a former transfer yourself, what, if anything, have you been doing to help bring this year's transfers up to speed with the program?
Yeah. Being able to teach them the standard, what's expected of you when you come in. One thing I told them, especially a lot of guys that transferred in now, was never change who you are, but adapt to the culture. Being able to learn Coach Saban's ways, learn the Alabama standard, and, finesse your game around that. And that's the one thing that kind of helped me, being able to, hone in on that standard and respect it.
Go to Michael. What's the mindset in this locker room in terms of what happened at the end of last season? How much of that is motivating what's going on right now?
Yeah, we just had a guest speaker yesterday, and he said, your front mirror is bigger than your rearview mirror. So last year. Fall camp started yesterday. First practice, super excited. Got a lot of things to work on, but we're super excited about, the players that we have, the opportunity that we have to be able to, live up to Alabama standard, and just to create an identity that we want. So we're super excited about that.
A few more here. We'll go to Nick.
I mean, specific to you, like, what was your process in terms of looking at the tape from the national championship and then pivoting to this year?
You know, for me, I did a lot of self-scout on myself, you know, figuring out ways where I can be better, where I can help the team out, and kind of as a defensive whole, you know, sitting down with Coach Gordon and figuring out, you know, what we can do better. You know, flying to the ball, getting the ball out, creating turnovers were kind of huge things for us. And just a little fundamental things that I think we could have done a lot better to have the outcome that we wanted.
Okay, we have two more, Charlie, and then Steve.
Being a guy that's on that leadership group, just how do you see that leadership coming along, and how do you see the younger guys on the team being receptive to that?
Yeah, you know, leadership plays a huge role in this team. And being a leader is hard, doing the right things all the time, trying to bring guys along with you. But I think as a leadership group, we've been doing a great job of, you know, setting a standard, telling the guys the little things are going to matter, you know, tucking your shirts in, wearing the right socks, wearing the right shoes is going to take us a long way. So I think, you know, our whole entire leadership group has been doing a good job. And I think the guys have embraced that, you know, seeing the little things changing throughout, you know, spring, summer, and going into fall camp now. So I think, you know, everybody's embracing it.
Finish up with Steve.
You've worked on some pass rush moves a bit more in the offseason. Can we see some competition with Will, yourself, and Dallas getting those sacks?
Yeah, I mean, you know, that was kind of one game that I wanted to work on was my pass rush and my blitzing ability. So that was one part of my area that I really honed in and focused on. So I'm going to be back there getting some sacks this year.
Thanks, Henry.
Appreciate it.